Last week, the Friday furlough for some city employees expired. Has the city budget recovered to where another furlough is not needed?
The answer is no. The council and I budgeted for half a year of furloughs, and our non-sworn employees reduced their pay by 10% for that period of time. But our budget is staying within the parameters of the budget that the council and I adopted, which assumed a record level decrease in revenue. And so from that standpoint, we're staying within the budget, but in the budget that we put together for the coming year, we're going to have to find reductions in other areas to address this reduction in revenue. So for the rest of this fiscal year, as long as we stay on course of where we are through June, we should be fine. But we have a lot of work to do between now and when we adopt the budget in June of this year to reflect the reduction in revenue that we're seeing as a result of being in the midst of both a global pandemic and a national recession. And I do want to add that the goal for me, and I imagine for my colleagues on the council too, is that we want to make those reductions and not do it through another furloughing. I think furloughs are a necessary thing from an emergency standpoint, but they're not a good long-term budgetary option.
Thank you, Mayor. I have another question from Rick Marinon for Mayor Bynum, kind of a follow-up question. How close are we to layoff territory?
We aren't, thanks to a combination of two things. One, having non-sworn employees sacrifice their pay that enabled us to make no reduction in public safety staffing over the first half of this fiscal year. And that's in sharp contrast with what you would have seen a decade ago when we entered into the Great Recession and you were seeing police officers get laid off as crime was increasing. We are not in danger of that because we had non-sworn employees willing to sacrifice their pay. And then you had an administration and a city council that had spent the last 4 years building up our rainy day fund in good times to be able to weather out the bad times. But that is not a long-term sustainable way to go about it. You've got to adjust your budget. We're not like other governments where we get to borrow money or print our own currency. We have a balanced budget at the city of Tulsa every single year. We only spend what we bring in. And the job for us between now and the next fiscal year is to identify what reductions we need to make in light of the reductions in revenue that we're seeing.